Hello guys, it's BB Scratcher with yet another session. Well, I'm in the kitchen this time cooking a vegetarian zuppa Toscani inspired by Olive Garden. I used to love that soup before I stopped eating meat, and now I'm cooking a vegetarian version of it. And I start that off by dicing up all of my veggies and my sausage. So of course I have about three carrots. They're about medium to small. I peeled, washed, and diced them up into fine pieces. And as you can see, that's what I'm doing right here. Once I have diced up my carrots, I then quartered my potatoes. They are Yukon Gold potatoes, and I don't want them too small because I didn't want them to overcook, and I have mashed potatoes. So I cut them in quarters instead of real small pieces like the carrots. I have my Light vegetarian Italian sausage that is high in protein, low in carbs if you're into keto and being a vegetarian. So I also diced that up into pieces that are manageable. I don't want to, make them too big and too little. And I added about a half a stick of butter into a pot, and I added my veggies and my Italian sausages, as well as a few seasoning, adobo, oxtail seasoning, black pepper, a little Old Bay garlic and herb, and just a tad bit of salt. I don't want to over season it because I like to layer my flavors, and you will see later in the video. So I'm stirring my mixture to incorporate all of my seasoning. I use another Light that is similar to that of the tube, the sausage that you have to pat out. So I use about 2 handfuls of that, pulled it apart so that it would not be extremely clumpy. I also stir that in to ensure that it is incorporated. Once my veggies and sausage cooked down for about 3 to 5 minutes, I stir to make sure that I don't have large lumps like that piece of sausage. That second sausage I use tend to crump a little bit. So you want to make sure to break it down, and then want large pieces of sausage or mock meat. So now I am slowly going to incorporate my cleaned kale. I bought the pre-packaged, pre-washed kale, but I did wash it myself 2 or 3 times just to make sure. And I add a little bit at a time to ensure that I don't have a whole bunch of kale sitting on top of my veggies and they're burning at the bottom and I can't stir my pot. So I add a little bit, stir a little, add a little, stir a little. And one of the cons to buying the prepackaged kale, even if it's greens, is the large stems. So I wanted to take the stems off, the larger ones that were visual. They do tend to cook down a little bit, and I continue that process of adding a little, stirring a little, adding a little, stirring a little, because it is cooking down in the process, and I wouldn't have to wait till everything cooked down at one time, because we did not want our veggies and sausage to burn at the bottom, because that would ruin the whole meal. Okay, so I'm continuing that process until I get all of my kale into the pan without it overflowing and kale is everywhere. So now, after about 3 to 5 minutes, again, all of my kale has cooked down. So now I'm adding about 2 to 4 cups of water based off how much kale you have. I just want enough water to cover the kale just a little bit. So I added a little extra water because it's going to cook down. That's about the amount that I want there, because it's going to cook down and it's going to give me enough broth that I can have a hearty soup. So I'm adding the better than bouillon, the veggie, and that's about a tablespoon. And I swerve my spoon in there a little bit to make sure that I got all of my paste off of the spoon. I love that stuff. It's a signature in my kitchen. And I add Italian seasoning because it's a what Italian dish. And again, I'm adding another layer of flavor as the process progresses. I'm adding a little bit more oxtail seasoning because I love that stuff. I love it, love it. I add a little smoked paprika, not for a purpose other than giving me a little smoky flavor. I love smoked paprika. And a little Goya ham seasoning. There's no ham, there's no pigs harmed in the process of this film. So I stir all of those flavors in, and I remember at the beginning I did not put but maybe a half a teaspoon of salt because everything I add has its own salt content. So now my veggies are on a nice little simmer here, not over simmer. My vegetables and my meats and things of that nature aren't burning. So now I'm adding cream cheese. And I'm adding a half a tub of cream cheese, so that's about 4 ounces. And I'm adding it into it. That gives it that creaminess. It gives them this richness and this heartiness. And it's amazing. So we're going to stir that in to make sure that everything gets incorporated. The cream cheese will melt down, but just make sure that it is incorporated in there well. So I'm stirring and stirring and stirring, and I let that simmer for about 2 to 3 minutes. Note, I did not cover up my pan, not once. So coming back, look at that. It's getting creamier and it's getting richer. But look at that. We still have just a little bit more lumps of cream cheese. So I'm going to continue to stir it to make sure that they melt down. Oh my gosh, it's another flavor, it's another richness. Again, I love to layer my flavors. Alright guys, so now I'm going to let it simmer a little bit more. And this is my secret ingredient. It's cheese. It's simple. It's cheese. I put like maybe a half a handful of just nacho taco cheese. It has cheddar and a little Monterey Jack for some extra smokiness. And I didn't add it for the cheesiness, but I added it for the flavor. So I didn't add a lot because I didn't want it to become like a cheesy situation. So I just stir that in, let it melt down, and look guys, this is my final product, simmering for another 10 minutes on the stove to make sure all the things are